What's up, guys? This is crypto vlog number 2. This is going to be a brief video, but I want to cover it on managing emotions. I really think this is an important part of all crypto cycles and investing and trading in whatever you do. Managing your emotions is key. And I'm going to be making more and more vlogs on this channel going forward. If you guys missed the first one, you guys can check it out. I made it a few days ago, but the reason I'm doing this is kind of to document the timelines and where we are at in the cycle. That way, in the future, when we go to the next crypto cycle, I will be able to be like, yeah, okay, we are at this point in time in the cycle. I felt like this last cycle, so this is probably what's going to happen. Right now, a lot of people are feeling depression. They're feeling that we're absolutely getting roasted, and we are having like a little 1%, maybe 2% candle, I guess you can say, off the lows. And the timeline is already like, oh, fade the rally. This is just Wyckoff distribution. We are about to take another leg down. Like an example is Ansem on Twitter. He was giga bullish, and he was like, Solana is going to the moon. We're going to $1,000. And he made a pivot about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And now he's calling for lower, like going a lot lower from here, like 44K. Now, obviously, time will tell. We'll see what will happen on this. But you are going to get times in the market where people are going to change. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right. But if you go through your Twitter timeline, you will see a lot of people are depressed. And if you look at the fear and greed index, a lot of people are fearful. In fact, the index is shooting at like a 27, 26 right now. And that's extreme fear. And it ranges from 0 to 100 to kind of put that into perspective. Me personally, I take a long-term bias. And regardless of what my emotion is, I go based on a thesis of I know Bitcoin and ETH are going to be around several years from now, and that's where most of my positions are allocated accordingly. Yes, I do have a lot of exposure to meme coins and altcoin. Well, I wouldn't say a lot on meme coins, but I do have a good amount of exposure to altcoins, and I've slowly been scaling into meme coins, and I still continue to do so. But regardless of the fear that is in the market or how a particular emotion feels for me at a particular time, I take a long-term bias. That way I just don't get shaken out. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, and that's really what I feel on this. Of course, the better traders, they typically do the opposite of their emotion. So if they feel extremely fearful, then they buy. If they feel extremely greedy, and of course, when you're dancing around with a lampshade on top of your head, that's usually a local top signal, and there are a lot of top signals for that. So me personally, what I'm seeing on the timeline is a lot of fear. And there are some people who are a bit greedy and a bit brash and rude. They're like, oh, you're a moron if you're not buying. Come on, chill out, bro. Yeah, there are going to be things like that. Like seeing those little things, it makes me feel like, okay, we should probably see another leg down to humble a lot of people. But again, I take the long-term bias, and it's like, okay, I know we're going to be higher from here. That's just my thought, at least. And of course, we have the catalyst of the ETH ETF. But just looking at these charts, I mean, here's Bitcoin in general. This is a spot only market, and I've tried leverage before, and I kind of forgot it had been like 2 or 3 years. So I was like, you know what? Let me try this again with a meme coin because I know it's going to do something. Let me buy the lows on a meme coin and let's leverage trade it. Let's see what happens. We'll be safe with 10x, right? No, it's not. In fact, I had a buy on MOG. I got that at like 0.1. Let me see. I'll pull up the charts. In fact, I had a buy on MOG. So here are the charts. I bought it. It was like 0.12 or 0.11 when I bought in. And I had too much leverage. So this wick down here, actually, you can't even see it. On the exchange, it went to like 1088 or 1077 or something like that. And I got roasted. I got wiped out. And if I simply would have just bought spot, or at least like if I was doing any leverage, like 2x leverage, I would be way up now. Like way up. If that 10x leverage position played out, of course, that would be even better. But that goes as a reminder, like, hey, Drake, look, this is why you don't do leverage. If you are going to do leverage, the best thing to do is just buy spot on a meme coin. So if you're trying to leverage trade, you have a chance of getting roasted. So you theoretically have a capped upside. And the reason I say capped is usually the tokens that allow leverage, like Bitcoin, ETH, MOG does on very few exchanges, but more so like Pepe. It's not likely that those are going to go to like $100 billion, which is a 20x within the next few months. And the reason I say the next few months is because those funding rates, they will eat at your profits and they will eat you. The markets can stay more irrational than you can stay solvent. So basically you would get washed out of that position. So you basically can lose everything and you have a capped upside. Whereas with a meme coin, you theoretically have an infinite upside, and your downside is, well, hey, if it goes to zero, at least I can still become a community member. So it's just one of those things, kind of a reminder, not doing leverage because you will get absolutely roasted. Now, as for the state of the markets, like I said, there's a lot of negative sentiment right now. People are calling for lower. Then you also have people on the other side that are like, you're so wrong, we're going to the moon. In reality is we're probably going to chop until the next catalyst, which could be like the ETH ETF. Watcher Guru just made a tweet today about JP Morgan saying, yeah, the crypto markets will continue to run, or they'll start running again in August. It's like, whatever, dude. Just preach your own book, right? So the reality is we're probably going to chop, and usually that sets it up for a lot of the mid to smaller meme coins to run and do extremely well. And the reason I say this is because there isn't a lot of liquidity needed to push these, or at least a lot of money to push these, because they're kind of illiquid tokens. And people are always impatient. They like to gamble. And yeah, it's going to be a PvP environment, but you're still going to have some of those select meme coins that will do extremely well. And of course, vary based on who buys it. Now, the high caps, those are going to depend on the market doing well. So like your Pepe, your WIF, those are going to depend on Solana, Ethereum, those tokens doing extremely well, which will probably get some catalyst going into the ETF. The last thing I kind of want to end this on is kind of a reminder for next cycle. Next cycle, when you see tons of altcoins like this, yeah, you have the low float and high FDV token at the initial launch, and it allows for price pumpage, whatever. But you could see here, we're getting some massive unlocks. Like this month, it's going to be over $1 billion in token unlocks. And I see this continuing to happen like this. And it's like, can the market really sustain this? No. And this is really my thesis on the meme coins. And it's a way for retail to kind of get back at the VCs who are kind of winning every time because they get in so early. But yeah, to summarize the state of the market, it's very negative. Like you go on Twitter and you're like, you almost want to sell everything type of thing. And then you also have the other side of Twitter, which is like everyone's calling each other a moron. They're all angry at each other. I just think this is kind of the state of the market where the market makers are creating it like, hey, look, this is the cycle top, and creating uncertainty and creating that leg down right before the next leg up to get people to either sell their longs or sell out of their positions or go short, and then they take their money, squeeze them out, and then send it higher. That's kind of what the market makers will do. They will play with your emotions, and all I say is I take a long-term bias. That way, if they do try to play with the emotions, I don't get played. And that's just kind of my thoughts. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will do more vlogs like this going forward, just kind of to document what's going on in the markets. That way I can come back, and if you want to, you guys can come back as well. But to be able to come back next cycle and see what the feelings are like next time around this is happening. Proverbs chapter 19, verses 10. It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury. How much worse for a slave to rule over princes? That's so true, man. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the vid, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.